A man sat alone in a palace carved from cold, unfeeling marble. Around him, gold glowed in the dim light, casting long, distorted shadows across the floor. He owned the land as far as the eye could see. He owned the servants who moved like ghosts through the eye, and the silken robes that weighed heavy on his shoulders. Yet, his eyes stayed fixed on the darkness. He had not slept in weeks, his mind a storm of ledgers and losses. The gold did not warm him. It only served as a reminder of everything he feared to lose. One morning, the weight became unbearable. Without a word to his guards, he left his gates and began to walk. He walked until the towering palace was nothing more than a speck on the horizon, a tiny glint of dust in the vast, indifferent desert. His feet were blistered, and his fine robes were stained with the dust of the road. But he did not stop. Finally, he found the Buddha sitting beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient banyan tree. The air around the enlightened one was still and clear, untouched by the heat of the day. The merchant collapsed at his feet, his fingers digging into the dry, cracked earth as if trying to find an anchor. He gasped for air, his voice cracking with the weight of a lifetime of greed. "I have conquered cities," he cried out, "yet I am a prisoner in my own skin. Why does my wealth taste like ash? Why is my soul starving in a house of plenty?" The Buddha did not look up immediately. He remained as steady as the mountain, his presence a cooling balm to the merchant's fevered mind. Slowly, he pointed to a single leaf drifting down the nearby river, dancing on the surface of the water. "You carry your gold like a mountain on your back," the Buddha said, his voice resonant and calm. "You mistake the vessel for the water. You spend your life polishing the cup, yet you die of thirst because you refuse to drink." The merchant knelt in silence, watching the current pull the leaf further away into the unknown. "Religion is not a collection of prayers or empty rituals," the Buddha continued. "It is the art of emptying the cup. You are full of yourself, full of your titles, and full of your fears. There is no room for peace in a heart that is already occupied by shadows. When you stop grasping at the wind, you stop the suffering. To hold on is to perish. To let go is to begin." The words settled into the merchant's heart like stones dropped into a deep well. He realized that the walls of his palace were not built for protection, but for imprisonment. The merchant stood up, his body feeling lighter than it had in decades. He did not return to the palace. He walked into the nearest village and knelt in the dirt, sharing his bread with the hungry. As he listened to the stories of those who had nothing, the tightness in his chest finally loosened. The palace was a cage, but the open road was a path. He no longer looked for peace in the weight of his pockets. He found it in the space between heartbeats. The Buddha's light stretched across the horizon, a golden glow touching the world. To be free is not to possess, but to let go until only peace remains. Had wealth, yet why was he sad? Buddha revealed the true bliss. Be your own light. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Like, share, and subscribe the Bodhi Crown channel.